After achieving the American dream, you left everything and came back to India.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't think that's the, achieving the American dream. The American dream is to have your own company and be the CEO of that company. Everybody was going to US. It seemed like a great opportunity opening up, and I took it.
I would like to know about your childhood, your family.
I was the preferred child. As a child, I carried that dream that I want to be a footballer as well, like Dad. So he played for Railways, got an opportunity to play in India team, but the night before, he broke his knee.
You have built a company and got a deal worth 30 crores in 1.5 year, and you have left the company.
Yeah.
Why? We want to know your startup story. Because few minutes back you said you're not an entrepreneur. I disagree with that.
Yeah.
Hi Amit sir. Thank you for
Hi.
joining with me on my very first podcast.
Well, I am glad that I am the one, which is your first. So it's my first as well, by the way.
We have a lot of questions,
Yeah.
but before jumping into them, I would like to know about your childhood, your family, what were your interests back then? Because most people assume that if a person is successful, it is because the individual is from a privileged family. So please tell us about your
That's
childhood.
not true. I mean, you have a lot of rags to riches story. Of course, mine is not rags to riches. My dad did pretty well.
Okay.
And I went to a very good school, DPS Arkepuram. And so I think I had a good education and I made most of it. Played a lot of soccer as a child. I think all the soccer and everything and being with friends, uh, just gave a lot of um, learning and value system that just carried forward naturally.
Okay.
There was nothing unusual or really sparkling about, uh, which is noteworthy, I would say, to be penned down.
Okay. How was your relationship with your parents?
So, my relationship with my parents were really good. I was the preferred child. And my father, as usual, he would always spend time with us. Once a year, he would take us on a vacation. On the weekends, he would, at least one day, he would spend time with us. He was a busy guy. He had his factory. So he always had to spend long hours, and he was in sales. So he had to spend a long hours, but whenever he got an opportunity, he would take us. Like we had been to, he's taken us to Hayat because he was entertaining some clients there. So after that, he came into our party. He had gone to Red Fort for some business with Ordnance Factory. So he would ask us to go with him, and we would roam around in Meena Bazaar there, and then he'll join us later. We'll have a meal and come back. So I think, he spent a good amount of time, and he was a crazy footballer, right?
Okay.
So he played for Railways, got an opportunity to play in India team, but the night before, he broke his knee cartilage.
Okay.
So he never played. So that, as a child, I carried that dream that I want to be a footballer as well, like Dad.
Okay.
Although, later when when I went to college and all, I realized that, look, footballers don't make money. IT professionals do. So I kept that as a hobby.
Okay. So after your 10th, Okay, after your 12th, you got into NIT Calicut, right?
Hmm.
So nowadays, getting into an IIT or NIT is very hard.
Yeah.
And was it very easy back then, or were you a very good student?
I would not think either of them is true, right?
Okay.
I was not a very good student. I think my wife, my son, my daughter are far better students than I am. I was. Huh?
But you did your bachelor's from NIT.
Yeah. I mean, think about it. I mean, see, I didn't qualify for IIT. Okay. I did qualify for the NIT, but then I was in Delhi, right? So I got one seat in Calicut. Back then Calicut was not one of the premier institutes. It's just that I had the choice at that time, I remember, between Allahabad and Calicut. I refused Allahabad primarily because I was afraid of the ragging.
Okay.
Back then, we had quite a severe ragging.
Okay.
And so I went to Calicut. Uh, uh, I mean, so see, um I had prepared for IIT, but I didn't get through IIT. So maybe that helped me to get into NIT. But I think in those days, if I remember, it our admission was the last one which was based on merit.
Okay.
After that, it became an exam.
Oh.
So I would say it was relatively easier. Because now there are far more number of people, right, that are
Hmm.
competing for the same seats. The proportionately seats have not increased as much.
That is the sad part.
Yeah.
How was once you have joined the NIT? How was it? Like, did you make any good friends there?
Oh, yes. College was amazing. I mean, I was in a hostel, and the college itself was the nearest city, which is Calicut, is 23 kilometers away, right? So you are literally in a confine, and all you have is your friends. So I would play soccer in the evening with my friends. During the class, we would hang out between classes. I mean, we had each other all the time. So these friends are still there with me. And a lot of it was state-wise back then. The ragging was state-wise. So there were state-wise groups that formed. And I was with the Bengali group. So that group is still, I'm still very close with them from that perspective.
Okay. I have a personal question. Generally, people say it is very hard to get friends after your school or college.
Mhm.
Is it true? And can we make friends in the corporate world?
I don't think it's very hard,
Okay.
frankly. Huh? Um, I think if you look at my case, one of my best friends now, King Shuk, I met in my days in TCS.
Okay.
Huh? Um, that I am still in touch with many of my college friends, and whenever we meet, it's almost like starting off where we left off, right? Huh. Now, school also, I have few friends that I'm still in touch with. It's just that me personally, I don't, um, for me, out of sight is out of mind,
Okay.
frankly. So I don't really take a lot of pains to connect back with a lot of these friends. But if I do, it comes back. Wherever I do, it comes back. So I think it's not very hard to make friends in corporate. It's just that a lot of people I see become very career focused and money minded, and all of the things that kill friendships, right? It's more, what can I get out of that person rather than connecting genuinely.
Okay. We got to know about your another hobby, playing piano.
That's a very recent hobby. So when my daughter left for Germany for her master's, she was teaching in a local music school.
Okay.
And I used to work long hours, and she was concerned with me just working. And so she forced me to start that class. So I said, okay, let's give it a try. Um, I had not done music seriously for a long, I mean, earlier, but I clicked with the teacher there, Oliver sir.
Okay.
He's a fabulous person. And so now I've been continuing it for what, 2 years now, I think, close to 2 years, more than 2 years, I think. And I go there every Sunday. It's more to connect with him and have a hearty chat. And, the music happens on the side.
Okay.
I would say progress-wise, it's not that great, but I love chatting with him.
Okay. We also got to know that you don't play it often, but
No.
you go to the classes.
Yes.
Okay. After your NIT, please tell us about your first job. How did you get it?
Oh, it wasn't after NIT. It was while I was in NIT.
Okay.
It was, see, my first job was Steel Authority of India. Um I remember I was preparing for IIM, because engineer and then MBA was the way to go apparently in those days, right? Was not apparently, as in was the way to go. So I thought that IIM would be the next best option. You finish your studies and then start your job. So I used to study very hard for the MBA, for the CAT. And I had, I don't remember, I had cleared IIM Ahmedabad written test.
Oh.
Huh. And some friend said, "Hey, why don't you come to Kochi? Bunch of us are going. There's some test also for sale." I said, "What is sale?" Huh. Huh. And it says a bunch of guys are going. You also come. So I said, okay, let's go. So they said you have to fill out this form. This is for the test, so that you can appear for the test also.
Okay.
So I filled out that form. There was some money to be given, I think, or something. But we filled out that form. I was excited about going to Kochi. So we went to Kochi, and um, we got, so I did the test. I came back. I was very upset, because there were, I think, 150 questions. I missed out 8 questions. Huh. And I said, after preparing for all of that, I still missed out. So my preparation is not good. And I was cribbing to one of my friends, and they started beating me, of course. It says, you missed only 8 questions and you're bragging about it. And then I realized, okay, I did good.
Okay.
So I got into the group discussion again. I was not going into these things to get that job. It didn't mean so much because I was focused on getting an MBA.
Okay.
So these guys, SAIL, they had sponsored my AC fare to Kolkata. The group discussion was in Kolkata. So I was more interested in traveling the AC than anything else. And so I went there. I did fabulous in the group discussion, and cleared the interview also. So I got the job offer. So as now I got to start immediately after college. I think I started in November. My college ended in August. I started in November. So I had a job before I graduated that way. Fortunate, very fortunate, I would say. Completely unintentional.
Okay. So you have left SAIL to join TCS,
Yeah.
if I'm right. How a person will do that? Because getting a government job is very hard and very rare, right?
Right.
And you left it.
It's not a government job though. It's a PSU,
Okay.
public sector enterprise. Huh? So yeah, I mean, but it's not a government job. There's a difference.
Oh, generally they say, right? Steel plant, Steel Authority of India, these all come under government job only.
PS, public sector undertaking, is where this is a entity where government owns a significant share of the company, but there are shares that are sold in the stock market. You can buy sale stocks today in the stock market.
Okay.
Huh. And depending on the government policy, they may choose to liquidate more to raise money. Huh.
Okay.
So it operates like a private enterprise, but largely owned, majority shareholder is government. Huh. In this case. Now, so SAIL was one such enterprise. Government is where you are actually working for Ministry of Defense or Ministry of some ministry, right? So that is a government job. So that is different.
Okay.
So two are different.
After joining in SAIL, what happened so that you shifted to TCS?
See, SAIL was a great job,
Okay.
first of all, right? They put me, I was a management trainee for a year. Okay. They had TCS come and train us for 2 months on software development. They took us around all of the steel plants. We spent some time in each of these steel plants so that we could see how steel is made. And then they gave us management training also. So 1 year of training, and after that we became junior managers. So, and as managers, our goal was to manage a software development. So I was managing the software development of, I think two of the main softwares that are used for planning, production, all of that. Now, TCS was the outsourced vendor. So what happened is TCS team did bulk of the work. I was the junior manager responsible for overseeing their work. But imagine, I'm just fresh out of college, 1 year of training, and 2 months of training by which the TCS guys themselves will go through when they join TCS as an entry level. I had no experience, but I had to supervise. So while they got to do all the fun development, I am the one who is just seeing the output, final output. So I'm not learning anything. Huh. So I started participating with them a little bit at a time. I said, can you give me some job also? I want to do. So I did co-development with them for some time. And then I realized no matter what happens, I will be limited I'll have limited technical knowledge compared to what these TCS guys will do, because they got to work in multiple projects and cool different technologies. I will get stuck with this technology, and my growth was limited.
Okay.
So I said, this way I will, while I have a cushy job, I had great pay, great benefits, uh, but I will not learn. So that felt very stagnating. So then I got the opportunity to work in TCS and I jumped to TCS.
Okay. What happened after TCS?
So, see, when I joined TCS at that point, the H1 boom was just beginning.
Okay.
So there's a lot of people from companies from US that were coming to hire from India, cheap, technically very good engineers, and English speaking. So um, there were companies who were hiring left and right, and they would go after all these top system integrators. So me being in TCS, people started reaching out to me. I was at that point doing part of the development project, banks, which is now banks product. So I interviewed and got through. In those days, I think even if you had some kind of a software development experience. And in our case, we were from TCS, so this was as good as it got at entry level.
Okay.
So they hired us and they did our H-1B visa and we were off. So it was not really a planned effort,
Okay.
so to say. Everybody was going to US. It seemed like a great opportunity opening up, and I took it. So it was very straightforward.
Okay. After going to the US,
Yeah.
how did you overcome that language barrier? And what are your initial struggles be like? If we go to a new place, it's hard to settle there, right?
Um, yes and no. So see, you have to understand that I did my entire high school from DPS Puram, where English was spoken left and right,
Okay.
is the main language. Huh. English and Hindi. So my English was very good. I didn't have a language barrier.
Okay.
Huh. The mistake that I did is before I was going to US, I thought I'll prepare so that I am better with their accent. So I used to watch BBC. For some wise reason, I thought it's all the same. So, and I was very familiar with that accent. And then when I ended there, I saw that, oh, it's different. And not only different, they actually try and poke differences that, hey, you have a British accent, you are from this region in Britain versus I am US and I am from New York versus from Mississippi, and there was so much differences. So I learned those differences. Language was not a barrier,
Okay.
so to say. The things that were different is the other thing that helped me is I wasn't going there as a student,
Hmm.
right? So I had a salary on day one. Okay, not day one, but day 10. Okay. So I had a salary. So I had money in my hand as well. So the problem though was that I was in Northern Virginia, but a suburb of Northern Virginia. You didn't have public transport. So even to get to office, you had to take a cab. Cab is like $20 a ride one way, where your monthly salary is $2,500. Right. So it was not a feasible thing. First day I went like that. They put me up in a hotel. Once I got the job on the 10th day, 2 days was fine because I could walk there. But then after that, I got my rented apartment with some friends. There were plenty of Indians there. So we grouped together because we had the same issues and we worked together. And we started, so then the house thing was sorted out. We rented a 2-bedroom flat. My friend took one and I took one bed. Then commuting. So we had other people in that community who also worked in the same place, and they were Indians. So one of them had a car. So 4 of us would pile up in the car and go to work. And I think initially of course, it was burdensome on him, but we didn't have an opportunity and we didn't give him a chance to slip out.
Okay.
And so I ended up there in October. By December, I had my car. So I bought a car. After that, there was no problem.
Okay.
So from that perspective, I think settling was not an issue.
Okay.
And it was Northern Virginia had a big Indian community. So I plugged myself into, festivals,
Even back
etc.
then, there is a big
Yeah,
community.
yeah. And there were community. So I remember went to Durga Puja, went to Saraswati Puja, those things. And I ended up meeting other families and incidentally met one family whom I became very close subsequently, Debukaku. And Debukaku and family, Debukaku was my father's childhood friend.
Okay.
So I didn't know when I met him. It was, I think, one of the Christmases that I had gone on a Christmas day, I think, when I had gone and met them. We were chatting, and he was curious because he was in Delhi. I was from Delhi. So he started asking who is your father, etc. And when I said my father's name, it irked his interest. So then we started talking, and it ended up that they were in the same college.
Okay.
They played together in the same soccer team, and they knew each other very, very well. They were like chums together. So then he called up my dad, and it's all history after that.
Okay. Soccer United.
Yeah, soccer played a big role.
Okay. After over 8 years, you have done your master's.
Yeah.
Why did you do that? Like, what changed your mind or inspired you? Or is it because you wanted to do it back in your college days?
See, I attempted for IM. I attempted for XLRI. And both of the times I failed right after college. Both of the times I failed in the interview. Primarily because I was not prepared for interviews. I didn't know how to speak properly in those interviews, etc. So I always wanted to do an MBA.
Okay.
When I went to US, my father said, "Hey, this is a good opportunity. US have good MBA schools, so you should do a good MBA from there." Okay. So I told my father this, yes, Baba. I'll go there. I will earn money in the first year, then 2 years of MBA, and then I'll be back.
Okay.
So he says, okay. So when I went there, then obviously jobs started taking precedence and earning money. And then my father came and father and mother came to visit me. And so all of that started flowing, and the MBA started getting delayed and delayed. So after a point, I realized that, look, this tech job was sort of getting stagnant. I was probably not, scaling up as much as a technologist. And I thought, let's do another degree, which might help. And that's when, since I had this MBA in mind, I didn't think much, and I just I prepared for GMAT and got into the part-time course. It just so happened that, it was a lot of things came together. First is I wanted to do an MBA. Engineer MBA seemed to be a good combination. We didn't have a lot of career advisors back then. So, and then, I could see that stagnation coming into the, job front. And so once I did my MBA, so I got into that MBA. By then, I think we were married also. Um, and when I started my MBA, I had already had my daughter, I think. She was 1 year old, right? Yeah. So, um, not a planned effort. I mean, like nowadays, you have career advisors who will tell you exactly what to do and to do, where to do it from. I mean, I was just going blind at it. There were no advisors. My friends were also in IT, and they were earning money and they were just living a life, enjoying life. So
Sometimes blind shots are perfect shots.
yeah, I've always gone with the flow, and it worked out so far. In fact, thinking too much about things have never really worked out for me.
Same with me as well. There is one question that slipped out of my mind. You didn't tell about your green card story.
Oh, green card. See, green card was something that most Indians, once they landed in US, would pursue.
Hmm.
And literally in every party that you go to, And I had a heavy Indian circle, and everywhere that I went to, you would talk about cricket and you would talk about your green card process.
Okay.
So it was almost like second nature for everyone to apply for a green card as soon as you can. Now, I somehow didn't give too much importance to the green card. And only after probably working there for 5 years, then I realized, hey, I should probably apply for a green card also, since everyone was also talking. So that's when I applied. I think through one of the jobs, I hired my own lawyer, and I applied for my green card. Uh, Now, it so happened that after I applied, the waiting period was pushed to I think 2-3 years, in the category that I was applying in. So I had to wait, and it took me almost 5 years to get my green card. Had I applied it right when I had gone, I would have gotten it probably in 2 years, but it wasn't something that was in the back of my mind. So my H1, um, at one point, I remember my H1 was getting, um, was coming close to expiry, and I was thinking what to do. And friend said, apply for a green card, and you will get your you will complete the first step very quickly, and then you can carry on with your job. And so something like that, it happened.
Okay.
So it wasn't, so after I got my green card, then I also got my citizenship after that.
Okay.
But by then I had decided to move back.
Okay.
So these were not really, again, as always, these were not very planned. So, yeah, so what happened is, in the initial days, I had my first job in US was in a company called GTSI.
Okay.
Okay, it was a government contracting company, and I was working on Oracle forms and Oracle reports back then, and they were changing. I think they were upgrading their technology. So they had a ton of reports to be migrated.
Mhm.
And my manager had said, you have to finish all of that. I took it as a challenge, and I finished vast majority of them. She had gone for a leave, I think, for a month, and I managed to complete. So I used to stay late. When she came back, she wasn't expecting them to be completed. So but I had completed, and she was surprised. So she said, okay, I will process your um, employment here if you're interested. I said, why would I say no? I mean, anyway, I was through a consulting company based out of Atlanta, and those guys were um, supposed to give me overtime, etc., but were causing some issues with paying me overtime, although it was due to me. I didn't quite like that. I'm a person who would not ask for money, but if I'm not given my due, it cheeses me off, but I can't really go and ask for it. Huh? So when this person said, okay, I'll process your employment here and we will start your green card right away, I was very happy. Said, yeah, go ahead. But then not only that, she was giving me, I was on 38K per year in those days, and she was giving me a 55K job. I said, I didn't do anything, and she's offering me so much more. Maybe I can get more. So I started interviewing, okay, with other companies. And I got a 63 from somewhere.
Mm.
And so I said, that seems like a major significant jump. So I took the 63K. Um, so I didn't know much, but that 63K was another consulting company, but an American consulting company. So I joined them. So this green card offer that these guys were giving didn't pan through. So my green card got delayed through that consulting company. They just kept waiting for at least a year and a half, because they were not sure whether I will stick around, whether I'll be valuable. So they didn't want to process my green card immediately. So it took, I think, 1.5, 2 years before they processed my green card.
Following that master's question, so most of my friends and juniors who didn't get a job after their bachelor's, everyone thinks to get a master degree. When thinking to get a master degree, there is one fundamental question: should they do it in India or abroad?
um, See, if you are doing a master's, okay, you want it to count.
Hmm.
Huh. For bachelors, though, you have to do, otherwise, your parents will probably throw you out of the house. It's a basic thing for you to get a job. Now, if you're going for masters, you want to build a career, you want to know something. So you really want to get from the best college.
Right.
Now comes, what is your affordability, right? The good thing is that if you are a merit student, you can get a scholarship in most of the good colleges.
Okay.
If you can get that, then why not try to get it from the best college? What I have personally observed is the world's best colleges don't give you only a degree. They show you a way to learn. So if you see somebody from, say, MIT, they will know what is the research methodology to adopt.
Okay.
Not just a subject. And that stays with them throughout the life and helps them succeed for the rest of their life.
Okay.
So if you are getting admission into, or for that matter, those who are doing an MBA from Harvard, they will, it's not that learning at that point in time. You are building that network, first of all, and B, you are learning that learning process or analysis process, or how do you approach any new topic and learn. Because that process is what comes in handy every time throughout your career that you are given a twisted problem. Hmm. Um, So I feel that if you have the money and you have the reach, absolutely go for the Harvards and the MITs and the UCLs and Imperial colleges of the world.
Okay.
Um, but if you don't and if you can get scholarship, nothing like it, right? Either you have the money or you have the scholarship, go for it. One of the things I saw when I went to US is there were a lot of my friends who had done their masters there but were in a ton of debt. In those days, when my salary was 38K per year, some of these guys had 20K, 30K in debt. Okay. Some of them on credit card. Okay, which were maxed out, multiple credit cards that were maxed out. Now, these guys, when they got their salary, the first thing they had to do is service their debt. And I did not appreciate it. I'm of the opinion that the lesser debt you have, the better off you are in life. The debts is only making the banks and the rich guys richer. So, um, so getting a degree like that from a mediocre college is, I don't think, is worth it. So you want to get a good education. You want to not get into debt too much. Some of it may be definitely required. Um, But more importantly, you should get it from a place where you can learn the process and the research methodology and how to analyze things. Those are important. The brand, of course, matters. The brand and all of these things go hand in hand. So that is why I think going abroad is definitely useful. Nowadays, some of the Indian universities and Indian colleges are also adopting that same method of learning. And so it's worth exploring those also. ISB, for that matter, in Hyderabad, or Ashoka University. I have heard really great things, and there are many more colleges. I'm not singling these out. So, yeah, I mean, that should be your primary selection criteria.
You're suggesting that we should do a master's from abroad?
You should definitely, if you can afford it.
Huh.
If you're going to sell your house and your grandmother's jewelry for it, you have to evaluate.
Okay.
And that too, you are going into, say, some mediocre college, you should evaluate.
Hmm. So there is a misconception that abroad education is always expensive.
Hmm.
Do you agree on that?
No.
Okay, please give an example.
No. See, you have to go look at, yeah, I mean, private colleges in US is super expensive,
Hmm.
right? I think it is almost like 60K per year, if not more now, right? But if you look at some of these private, some of the socialist countries, my daughter went to Germany. There, a 2-year master's degree in tuition terms cost her 18,000 euros. That's it. 18,000 euros. Whereas the tuition in a private university, and this is also private, tuition in a private university in US would easily set you back by 40 to 60,000 per year. I'm only talking tuition. So a 2-year degree, you're looking at 120,000, bill. If you can afford it, your father has a business, go for it. It's a worthwhile investment, definitely. Otherwise, go to Germany, get your education. You get that same outlook, same learnings, and you get that exposure. Getting exposed to a different culture, different set of value systems and different job market is always great.
Okay.
As a part of my MBA, I got to spend some time in Cambridge, which was 1 semester. I think there was a 1 semester course on global immersion. So we had gone to Cambridge. I think we spent some time in Trinity College in Dublin and some time in Amsterdam, talking to some companies. So, so those are the kind of learnings. And I was doing my MBA from George Mason University. So those kind of things, those kind of learnings are unparalleled. You only hear about Cambridge and Trinity in books and,
Movies.
movies. But being there, actually talking to these professors, sitting in the long room where, some of these uh, famous poets and authors have sat and did their education is unparalleled, that experience. So you can, and then if you are a good student, you can always get scholarship on top of it.
Let's not talk about good students. The reason is most of the people are not good students. If you look at
Then
it.
there are cheaper options. That's what
Yes.
I'm saying. And in Germany, Germany, if you look at it, they collect a lot of taxes from their citizens, but then they subsidize education. If you go to a state university in Germany, the fees is absent. They do collect some money per semester, but those are more for transportation, this and that. And so the amount of money you pay is nothing, literally.
Okay.
So there are cheaper options, absolutely.
Okay, so there is one question that came into my mind. In recent days, we have observed that most people say that getting a formal education is not that important. Even companies say that if you have good skills, we don't need your degree. Example, Zoho. So, do you agree on that? Is it still important to get a good formal education?
I think it is vital and should be mandatory.
Okay.
The reason I'll tell you is the differences between being a car mechanic versus a car designer.
Okay.
Okay.
Right.
If you have a certain skill, yeah, you can get an immediate job and, they'll put you on that job. until the next technology wave renders that skill unnecessary or not as valuable. Then you move on to another skill, of course, and keep reskilling yourself. And there's a way to go. In US, for instance, or in the Western world, plumbers, electricians, they make a lot of money. They have their certifications. They are skilled. They can build you a deck, a house in perfectly, right? Um, so yes, that is definitely a way to go. But what is the degree giving you? Right? Why is such a good, important degree is important? It solidifies your fundamentals. These fundamentals are what comes in handy when you are solving an unknown problem.
Okay.
If you are solving an unknown problem, you don't know how to address it, you fall back on your fundamentals. You've seen at work, right? That we have our research head go into anything and literally solve problems that everybody is stumped on. Huh. That only comes from that deep knowledge of the fundamentals.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, that is irreplaceable. And you build all your skills on top of it. Skill building is easy.
Okay.
That fundamental, laying that fundamental and a solid foundational fundamental base is super important. And that is why, you see, one of the issues that I have is as I go through these interviews, I see a lot of people just going through college and not really learning. If you ask them, there are so many interviews, cybersecurity interviews, where I've asked people to explain what is HTTPS and what is the difference between HTTP, and they've failed after completing 3 years of cybersecurity education. Huh. So this, I feel, is deplorable.
Yes.
You've wasted your time.
Okay. Just for the on-camera purpose, the research head Amit sir was talking about, he is also a very educated person, right?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yes. He is a gold medalist from University College London. Has a master's in I think something around telecommunication,
Yes.
electronics and telecommunication. Yeah.
There is one experience I would like to share, sir. So when I was planning to join a good college for my bachelor's, everyone suggested, family members, everyone suggested that I should get my degree from my hometown,
Mhm.
which is cheaper. And they said that the degree is same. What difference can it make? So my father, being my father, he said, no, you will not study here. You will study somewhere else, not in this state. So he kept me in Punjab LPU. So there, after going there, till then my English was very bad. I'm still improving. I don't have the confidence to speak in front of maybe 10 people. Now I can speak in front of 2000 people. So these are the things I feel like a college can teach. Not, you can just not go and learn it randomly.
True. I mean, you have to, the more you travel and the more you experience different things, um, good things that don't harm you, the better off you are, right?
Right.
Every experience it's a learning experience.
Hmm.
The more you travel to different countries, see, I've traveled to quite a few places, spent a lot of time in US, but I've also traveled in Europe and Middle East, spent some time in Middle East also, and some Southeast Asia. Now, what I realize is that, people in general are very nice,
Hmm.
and very welcoming. If you are ready to engage with them, they may have different value systems, but they are sincere to their, existence there, and you will learn from their lifestyle, their thought process, engaging with them, and that that experience gives you immense amount of ability to connect with anyone, communicate with anyone. I think that that confidence and that experience then opens up your capability to work with larger teams, diverse teams, and make things happen.
Yes.
It's a fundamental capability that you develop, not to mention all the new skills that you're capturing along the way.
Okay. One thing that I was always amazed of is that after achieving the American dream, you left everything and came back to India. Why?
I don't think that's the, achieving the American dream. The American dream is to also have your own company and be the CEO of that company. I didn't have my company. But yeah, I was pretty happy. Um, I had a very good job in a government-sponsored enterprise there, Fannie Mae, when I left and came. Now, see, I mean, why I came back goes back to a very fundamental value system I have.
Okay.
A value I have. That is, I firmly believe in a very strong family.
Okay.
Uh, we have spent long hours discussing and analyzing this situation, me and my wife, whether we should go back, whether we should continue. See, I mean, when we came back, I was a project manager at Fannie Mae. I was, it was a middle management position, but I was doing very well. I was part of a major transformation project. The experience was super, once in a lifetime experience. And I was doing very well there. My wife was teaching in 2 schools, teaching English in two colleges, right? And it's great to be called a professor.
Yes.
you know and uh, leaving all of that and just coming back at the drop of a hat is, of course, I mean, seems like very foolish or very courageous things. Very little boundary between the two.
Courageous only.
But it boils down to your fundamental, right? That why did we decide ultimately? Because we were doing our analysis paralysis, and then finally we said, let's forget it. Let's just go and we'll see what happens, right? It boils down to prioritizing our kids' future, A, and B, with our parents when they were vulnerable and old. Hmm. Um, yes, we could have made a lot more money there, but it was also about loneliness. So, our kids would go to schools, they would have friends at schools, and we also had a decent enough circle. So on weekends, we would call them up and schedule gatherings and we could meet. But, after school in the evenings, they were left to each other. We were left to each other. We would do our chores. And, although we were living in a community, uh, it's not like the same community that we had when I had growing up. I was in a community where everybody knew each other, and the concept of it takes a village to raise a kid was what I lived. You know, if I do something wrong, my friend's mother will scold me. So I was afraid. And every evening I'll go and play soccer where all my friends would come. Huh. Go back, have your dinner, do your homework. Simple life. But uh, I had that community. I could go to anybody, go to any friend, and I always had that friend. And my kids were missing out on that. They were by themselves loners. And you can see what that kind of a society has done to US now. You see shootings left and right, right? It has a mental toll. At least I personally, this is my personal opinion though. I feel that that loneliness is something that not worth it.
Oh, yes.
Huh. Plus, I was also seeing that my kids would miss out on the relatives, their grandparents, this community, the Indianness that I grew up with. I was not ready to give all of that up for any level of prosperity, okay, financial prosperity. So at the end, it became a very emotional decision, and we said, okay, let's go. We'll uh, tolerate and take everything else with the stride.
Okay.
So we came back.
Okay. Once you're back in India, how was India be like? Like you came after 13 years
Yeah.
in terms of IT, in terms of every day to day.
Well, I mean, see, after I came back, it took me about 3, 4 years, 3, 4 months, 3 months, I think, to get a job. Hmm?
Oh,
Um, because we came back without, I didn't have a job when I came back. I just said, look, this is our time because we need to get the kids admitted into the college, into the school at the right academic time, in their academic year. And so we just came. And I came to Delhi where my parents live. And we got them admitted into a local school. Now, and then this was, I think, in July. In July, we came back, June or July, we came back, and I got my job in Bangalore in November.
okay.
So then we moved to November. Now, in terms of jobs, I would say that in that time there were plenty of jobs.
Hmm.
Huh. It's just that getting a job has um, been at that point getting a job after having being in US for so long was becoming very hard, um, probably because people judged that, hey, this guy is from US, he's not going to work out here, people will come here, try it out, and then leave, and then we won't have longevity, and all kinds of apprehension I could hear from the hiring managers. And we could not get, I could not get interviews easily. Fortunately, I had some network which I which I tapped on, and I got the job in Wipro. Huh. Um, Good job. But senior jobs also work on networking more than just merit.
Yes.
So, I was at a level where I needed a senior job, and so I got that through the network. So I can't say much about the IT industry. It was good. Industry was good. It's just that my need was that of a senior role, and so I had to tap the network.
Okay. Do you like to drive?
Not anymore. Not anymore. I used to love driving in US, and we would go on long trips together spontaneously. I remember once I had gone to Canada from Virginia just on an hour's notice, and this is when my kids were small. They would still sit in the car seat. Uh, but we didn't think much. I loved driving then. It's just that the Bangalore traffic has put me off. It's just not worth it. So I take the public transportation
It
back and
feels
forth.
like playing Subway Surfers.
Yeah, I can't identify with that because I'm not too much into video games, etc. But yeah, it's a circus out there.
Yes.
So I try and take taxis and autos wherever possible. But I wouldn't mind driving. I like when I go to, I even now for long distances, like if I have to go 6 hours to say BR Hills, I drove there. If I have to go to say 4, 5 hours drive, I don't mind driving that.
But
It's
not in
outside the
Bangalore
city.
traffic.
Yeah, not in traffic.
Okay. That is where you should make money.
I remember, in 2008 when we came to Bangalore, watching out the windows from the bus was amazing.
Hmm.
You would see trees all around. Now you see only buildings. So,
Yes.
yeah.
Uh, as a hiring manager in this past 1-2 decades, you would have taken hundreds of interviews.
Yeah. It's like more than 500, I would say.
Okay. What is one thing that you look at when you're hiring someone?
I look at, see, I mean, I don't do the first round.
Yes, technical rounds.
Now, anybody coming to me has been vetted technically, so I know that they have a certain amount of knowledge.
Hmm.
Now, at that point, what I am checking for is their fundamental approach to problem solving. That is one.
Hmm.
So I may give a scenario questions, right? And I want to see how are they approaching it.
Right.
Are they do they have a structured approach to solving problems? That is one. And that is important because, you may not know everything, but as long as you have a structured way, that is fine. The second thing is, um, uh, their learning process.
Mm-hmm.
Are they reading books? Are they spending time on a regular basis to learn
Something new.
something new? Are they doing any projects? And if they're doing the projects, are they doing it themselves or it's just ChatGPT?
Hmm.
So, and if I don't see things like that, like for example, somebody might not be technically super great, but if I see that there is a learning process, they are constantly trying to learn new things and they're genuinely interested in that process, I prefer that. And if they're reading books, which I find it very rare nowadays
Hmm.
among candidates, especially in cybersecurity, then it's great.
Hmm.
It doesn't have to be related to cybersecurity, but just reading.
Okay. How important is communication skills? And and you are one of the person who are extremely good at communication skills. So how can someone improve their communication skills in terms of writing, reading, and talking?
Well, yes, you're right. Communication skills are super important.
Hmm.
Huh. Um, I would say it's probably one of those things that should be mandatorily taught in every degree program.
Hmm.
I have been personally very fortunate to work in a lot of good companies who systematically invest in their employees to teach them these fundamental soft skills.
Hmm.
And not just one company, but multiple such companies. It's just, and I thank those companies for this opportunity. And through those learnings, I have gone through a lot of, I would say, communication related trainings. Those who are not so fortunate, they can probably take books about communications and read about that. That'll give you a framework, mental framework on how to achieve great communication. There are tons of books on negotiations and, you know, there's one I remember, Crucial Communications or something like that, which I still remember. It was a 2-day course that Wipro put me through. Um, and there were plenty more earlier. Now, so with verbal communication, um, what we keep missing out is who are you talking to?
Okay.
The background of that person and what is that person coming you know, what environment or what situation is that person coming from. Once you know those things, your communication has to be first to build a trust with that person. And that background is what is going to help you build that trust.
Right.
Right? Only after you build that trust will the other person listen to you. Otherwise, it'll be a one-way monologue. Yeah, you'll be talking to a wall.
And the wall won't understand anything.
So that becomes super important, right? And and this is important. This is something that I learned from the Crucial Communications. Is even when you are having a very hard discussions, you will, this trust factor or this pool of safety will corrode in the conversation itself. You have to sense it. You have to build that um, pool of safety. And only then proceed with your conversation. Okay? It's a must. So this is fundamentally what is important. You can't just, even if you're a manager, you can't just come in and say, hey, Mohan, do this. I just have 2 minutes. I'll tell you in 2 minutes what to do and do this, and vanish. Doesn't work. So if you think about it, verbal communication, the most important thing is to know whom you are communicating with, their background, their situation, and to build the trust using that information, and then have your conversation. And not let that trust deplete. That pool of safety deplete. That is a fundamental framework to keep in mind. Of course, I mean, if you're talking about a subject and you don't know anything about that subject, that comes through, and that will deplete your pool of safety or trust that you have with them. Nobody wants to talk to, Mr. Know-it-all when you don't even have a. So be genuine in that, and people see through that. The second thing is, and a big example is me. Before I came to FireCompass, I knew zero about cybersecurity. Okay, right? Zero, literally zero. But I have managed the entire delivery team, right, for 5 years. And successfully, I may add, right? Of course, I've learned a lot along the way. But what is more important is these frameworks. And if you can communicate well, you can lead the team. You can, they will work with you and follow you for the project. Written communication is a whole different ballgame.
Okay.
Right. Now, when it comes to written communication, it is important to differentiate between, say, a story that you might read um, and a novel or so versus business communication, right? Now, with business communication also, there are two different styles. The earlier British one, which is also followed in Middle East, and the American way. So again, it's something that you have to learn. The American style is you be upfront in terms of what is the point you're trying to drive and then explain yourself. And you have to be very measured in terms of what you're saying. Be very clear, have a good grasp of the language, and not leave anything ambiguous. So it's something that you can learn with practice. And the more you practice, the better you will get. But it is important to know the basic framework there to follow. I mean, nowadays, people mostly follow the American written communication style, and that is adopted because it's short, sweet. But then if you go to Middle East and you follow the same thing, some places it doesn't get accepted very easily. It's
Okay.
in fact considered rude.
Mhm.
In my experience, I've seen in Middle East, in some places, you don't just blurt out your point up front. That is considered rude. So you may want to, um, you know, connect first,
Okay.
develop the story and then make your point. It's the other way around. So
So,
you have to know these cultural differences.
okay, when you're talking about the work that gives us the courage,
Hmm.
there's a saying, undeniable proof of work can give you a lot of courage.
Okay.
Because if you know, let's say you're talking about a subject and you know about the subject properly, then even though if you stutter a little or if you have grammar mistakes, that is not an issue because you know what you're saying. And that is what gives you the courage. Maybe the other person might not understand you, that is a different thing. But internally, that is how I feel that someone can get courage.
Not really.
Okay.
Of course, yeah. I mean, the more you know, the more comfortable you might get. But courage is something I feel different from that,
Okay.
or confidence in this case,
Hmm.
right? More than courage. Um, Confidence actually, see, I may not know anything about particle physics, but I don't mind going and talking to anybody on particle physics, even the scientist or the Nobel laureate. If they are willing to spend some time with me, I will ask them, explain it to me like you'll explain a 5-year-old, right? I have confidence in myself that I can be genuine to myself and not pretend that, hey, I know a lot because I'm talking to the Nobel laureate of particle physics.
Okay.
That is confidence,
Hmm.
right? I don't know anything about the subject. That is important. Be genuine to
How
yourself.
to build confidence then?
Just be genuine to yourself.
Okay.
Just go and say, look, I don't know, but, how do you do that?
Because coming to this point, I have observed this a lot. In one video, Steve Jobs said there is no person he met that he asked something and they didn't give in terms of help or service.
Exactly.
So I started approaching that, I started implementing that. So recently, not in this past 1 year, from 2025 to 2026, I have approached many people asking many different things, and everyone, almost everyone, did the best they could for me.
Yeah. I think I told you this book when you had joined. Dale Carnegie's How to Make Friends and Influence People or something like that.
How to Win Friends and Influence People.
Yes.
I completed that book.
So those are some fundamental books. I mean, they asked us to read that, and there was a discussion during our MBA, right? It's that important.
Okay.
So those are the kind of things that will give you confidence. Read that book, apply it, and you see that irrespective of the topic, you can talk to anyone.
And
It works.
I seriously learned that people are helping, because most of the time what so many people think is that if we mail someone they'll not respond. But no, every time I mailed someone, they replied to me, they helped me, they answered all of my questions.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to create an environment also that that they don't get threatened by.
Yeah.
So that is a given.
This question was asked by many students and many of my juniors as well, even my friends. So in the interviews, people often get panicked, even though they know the answer, but they get panicked and they forget that. One example is this person. It happened with me in my first interview. What I have learned from that is that you can look at interview in two ways. First way is you should be so confident that you will get the job. That is why say whatever that comes into your mind, because you're getting the job anyway. And the other way is be confident that you'll not get the job. So you will say whatever that comes into your mind. Anyway, you're not getting the job. So it actually helped me. In December 2024, I could crack 3 jobs with this. So what is your opinion on this?
See, I mean, this is a genuine issue that most people have. Okay. Even I had in my initial days, and I probably still have it, where stakes are high, you become nervous. And you have to develop a coping mechanism.
Okay.
Okay. Now, people do all kinds of things, breathing exercises, etc. But before we get to the coping mechanism, either of the things that you mentioned is not a healthy approach, I would say. Is not an appropriate approach. The reason is, see, I am assuming that you have prepared for your interviews, you have prepared for who the interviewer is, etc. And then you're going into the interview, and then you are super nervous, obviously. Now, I'll give you a couple of examples. When I went for my interview for IIM Ahmedabad, I had cleared the test. When I went for the interview, one of the questions they asked me is, look, what is your daily routine? How do you work so hard to get into this? I said, look, and I had never prepared for an interview before, very casual about it. Um, so for some reason, I didn't have that, like you were saying, I was thinking that, hey, it doesn't matter if I don't get it.
Okay.
But so I replied that, look, I'm a very lazy guy. I love to sleep.
Okay.
Needless to say, they all laughed, and I didn't get the seat. Okay. I still think that answer sort of took it away. Until
Yes.
then, it was going fine.
Okay.
Um, the same thing happened with, I think, Acceler. I was in the interview, and there was some famous, industrialist who was in the news for some fraud or some something wrongdoing in the corporate. And he said, "What do you think about this person?" I just casually said, I think he's in a big soup. And that sort of took the seat away again. Okay. So, I think if you're going into an interview, be serious about it. The moment you are serious, obvious, and you have prepared and stakes are high, obviously you'll be nervous. But you have to have your coping mechanisms. And I think the best, so there are various breathing techniques you should use to coping. But more importantly, I think it's a mind game as well. You have to cheat your mind so that it's not cycling so fast. And the best way to handle it is, look, this is important, but I will get tons of other opportunity. If I've cracked this, I'll crack the other ones also.
So I was in the interview, final round. I cleared all the technical rounds. The manager asked me, "How do you protect a server from brute force attack?" So the simple word I should have said is rate limiting. I didn't say it, and I didn't get the job. But then in the next interview, what I've understood is every time I feel like I'm going to get this job, I'm imagining too many things and getting panicked in the interview. So I thought, okay, I'll not get this job. So I'll give my best because obviously I'm prepared for the interview, but I'll give my best. And it worked for me 3-4 times.
No, I mean, you can always see, you can, when it comes to specific questions, etc., which you don't know, that is different from generally being nervous, right? Sometimes you'll go into the interview and you're shaking, right? So those kind of nervousness, you have to deal with what I just mentioned. But when you're talking about a specific question you might not know, etc., that is different. there, even if you can break it down and show them how you are approaching your thought process in answering that, that is sometimes good enough.
Okay.
So if you don't know that rate limiting is the answer, but you can say, okay, you're trying to reach that server um, cannot handle too many requests, so you have to, somehow control the number of requests, so maybe, so that will also give you time to think.
Right.
And you will get the answer. Oh, yeah. The rate limiting was the answer. I read it. I studied it. So you just need time. Think through that sometimes. Whatever works at the end of the day.
Yes, if
Without
it works,
jeopardizing.
it works. Let's say a student from a tier 3 college wants to get a job, but there are no companies coming to his college. How should he approach people to get an internship or a job?
Yeah, it is hard. It depends on the industry cycle you are in, the kind of job that. So right now, for instance, I think cybersecurity is a hot field. Huh.
Mm.
But if they are not from a good college and companies are not reaching out to them, then you genuinely have to work towards building your skill set and show that. Yeah. Um, and that is where certification comes in handy. Even if you're from a not so reputed college, right? But if you have OSCP certification, people will take notice. Put that on Naukri, and Insta Hire or any of these other websites, and people will take notice, right? Um, there's tons of things you can do. Social media is a good area. If you can't be, not working hard and still find an internship, right?
Right.
Especially when the job market is tight or the client wants hard, good skill sets. You have to show that. So the way is get a good certification, get publish your thoughts on, say, LinkedIn regularly. Follow other top leaders in that space, and then genuinely create your resume in such a way that it can go through ATS and get screened and come in front of the hiring manager. Um, a lot of times what happens is there are two categories of problems, frankly. There are good people who are not getting into job interviews. That's because, frankly, our hiring process itself, they are not able to beat it. So there is ATS, resume screening, that happens through systems and HR around. Now, HR team does not really know technical, and they are not able to find the right people by looking at the resume. So they will do keyword searches. So you have to make your resume in such a way that it can go through, um, you know, s- go through the ATS systems and HR rounds, right? Where keyword match can actually give out can increase your scores. Now, which means that sometimes you may have to build your resume for the specific job description itself, right? And thanks to ChatGPT, all of that is now possible easily. For those who genuinely don't have a good brand college, I would say that show it in your work. Get your certifications, get your publishings.
Okay, let's say a student got his good certification, did his resume good, but most of the time they don't know which companies has openings because even companies don't update their career pages. So approaching people who are working in the company, will it help them? Maybe HR, hiring manager, or see employees there.
Yeah, I mean, you're not losing anything. Go ahead. I mean, um, I would say that if you have a good resume and you can get in front of the hiring manager, however, I mean, you won it.
Okay.
The bigger issue is how to beat the layers before the hiring manager. That is usually the issue if you have the right skill set and the right resume.
Okay. Let's say,
And that can be anything, literally. I can be standing outside their house with a resume in my hand, if possible. Or go to a conference where you meet them and you give your resume, right? Anything.
now this goes back to the courage question. Most people don't have the courage to approach someone in public.
Yeah.
Now, let's say, sir, you are there, and I don't know whether there is an opening in your company or not. So, being me, if I mail you every day that okay, today I learned this, and this is what my skills are improved, or I have this
I will
particular,
blacklist you. Yeah.
or maybe I've sent you one email saying that okay, this is my skill set, and these are the certifications I have. Is there any opportunity? Will you help them?
Yeah, I mean, if I have a need, see, there's a lot of ifs, right? If I am actually hiring or I'm in need of, I might hire in the coming future, and your skill set somewhat matches, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. That's what I'm saying. If you come in front of the hiring manager and there is a need which matches your skill set, you will definitely get into an interview. Beyond that is different. It is that getting that interview is the main thing.
Yes. This is what I wanted to hear. Most of us have this fear of judgment where we think that people judge us on our looks, anything. And mostly people don't judge anyone, because if I don't judge you, I will not be thinking about you. I'm just in my own fears or in my own thoughts, right? And when I was there few years back when I uploaded my first YouTube video. I was thinking that what will my school friends think about me? But it's been ages since I spoke with them. When I was giving my first presentation on the stage, I was having this fear of judgment. But now things have changed. How can someone overcome that fear of judgment and happily live?
I mean, it's with any other new experience, right? Any new experience, you have to do it a few times and you will lose the fear.
Okay.
There's not much to it. I mean, if you are afraid of speaking in public, go ahead and do that. I mean, there are copybook styles. You can do it and start with talking in front of the mirror, maybe, and talk in front of smaller groups and then larger groups. Or similarly, if you're afraid to leave your hometown, go leave, take a shorter trip, come back, take longer trips, come back. It's with anything.
Okay. It is like if it is scary to jump, that is where you should jump. If not, you will stay at the same place.
Yeah, you should not stay in your comfort zone. That makes you stagnant, definitely.
Okay. We are going back to the courage question again.
Life is all about your experiences, And the more experiences you have, the more first time things you've done, and you become comfortable with it and you become more confident. You can face the world.
The coming questions I'm going to ask you are the things that I've observed in you from past 1.5 year.
Okay.
I have very good observation skills. So
I didn't realize I was under observation.
okay. So I've seen you in many client calls. You are always calm. Like even the client is blaming us, you are calm. Even if they are saying that there is something wrong with something, you will never defend. And I've even remember you told us not to defend. I remember this line. How can you do that? If someone is like, being rude to you and he's saying something, and how can you react? Sorry, how do you respond instead of reacting to it?
Good question. Um, Frankly, if you ask me a genuine answer to this, I would say that I really don't um, know how it comes to me, but I've had this uncanny ability from really early on to not really uh, react immediately to these kind of situations, which I have refined over the years. That doesn't mean I don't get triggered. I do get triggered, but much lesser than probably an average person.
Okay.
But I feel that um, I think there was a Gautam Buddha, I think, had said that something similar. He said that, look, your reaction is in your control, something to that effect. Your reaction is in your control. And if you are getting angry at someone, it is yourself that you're burning. And the other person, for the other person, it may not even matter.
Right.
So, why do you want to harm yourself?
Exactly.
So, and then a lot of times that itself can be used as a strategy where the other person may be doing things to really hurt you, and you react as if, okay, this is normal, nothing has happened. The other person will get cheesed off.
Yes.
So it goes both ways. I think the important thing it comes with practice. I'm sure it'll come with practice, but the important thing is to not react immediately, because that gives you some time to think and look at things from the other person's perspective. That person is disturbed or not happy for some reason. If they are taking the time to tell you, maybe there's a chance that they may want to get that corrected. If I have an opportunity to get that corrected, if I give him that confidence, I have another opportunity to fix this. But if I become defensive and I said, ये मेरी गलती नहीं है, you guys did this and I did only this, why are you saying I did that? All of that defensive talk will only, make that person even more angry that, they're not listening to me and my problems. They will not solve my problem. They'll lose hope. This again comes back to that pool of safety. If you're talking to them, you have to first build that trust and pool of safety. कि मैं हूं ना यहाँ पे तुम्हारा सॉल्व करने के लिए.
Yes. There are two things I learned from my father, and I rarely see them. It is punctuality. From past 1.5 years, I'm I'm observing you. You're never late. Mostly, you're never late.
Mostly, yeah.
Often you're early.
Yeah.
Either you're on time, often early. Sometimes it can happen. You will come at 10:15 something. I think that is late for you. And every time you wish someone or say hi to someone, you have this wide smile on your face with a huge energy. What motivates you to do that? Because being on time every day is very hard.
Not really.
Okay, let me
Maybe
rephrase
for you guys, if you're partying too much at night.
Okay.
But if you are not, I mean, you would have seen your father also. If you are on a routine, it is easy to follow that routine. It is difficult to break that routine, actually.
Yes.
It's harder to come late rather than being on time. So, you see, if you are constantly, it's easy. If you set yourself into a routine, you can. Now, some people might find it boring, or people will have physical issues, mental issues, which will stop them from maybe sleeping on time at the same time every day. And so in the morning they won't wake up, or they have something going on and they come late. So all of those issues are there, right? I have been blessed with uh, being able to follow a routine. It comes easily to me. So if I can set myself into a routine, I just follow that.
Okay, do you think the younger generations should value their time? Because from my childhood, I've always been on time and often early. Because if there is a train at 10, I would prefer to be there at by 9:30. If my office is at 10, I prefer there to be there at 9:45. So do you think it is important?
See, time definitely is important, right? Um, you have to value your time.
Hmm.
That is given. Now, what does that even mean?
Hmm.
In the corporate world, it's always helpful that you come 30 minutes, 40 minutes before the crowd comes in, so that you get time to collect your priorities for the day, and what you want to do, just get your thoughts together, organize, etc., etc., read your email maybe, etc. So then you plan out your day in such a way that you set aside a little time for deep work, which you must complete today, and some time for all the other coordination, etc., right? Now, you have to lay it out like that. Now, I don't think there are people who don't value their time. It's just that they would like to have fun, they would like to take it easy. Their priorities are different.
Okay.
And it appears that their order of prioritization is not in sync with yours, right? Now, if you talk to them and they align to your priorities, then they will also follow the time,
Hmm.
I think.
Because
So it's not like they don't value their time. Everybody has the same time. They just want to have more fun elsewhere.
okay, but there is this line that stuck in my head from a very long time. If you don't you if you don't value your time, the other person will not value yours. And if you're asking someone to wait, you're not only wasting your time, you're wasting their time as well. So what is your opinion on this?
See, this goes back to our company corporate culture, right?
Okay.
If you remember, there is one of the values is keeping small commitments. Huh? Um, and what that means is, if you have a meeting at 9 a.m., you have to be joining that meeting at least a minute before that,
Hmm.
right? Why is that? Because you committed, you agreed to come at 9, and value everybody else's time. If we agreed to start at 9, then ideally everybody should be there 1 minute before, so that you start discussing sharp at 9. If you come 5 minutes late, there are 3 more people who are probably waiting for you to arrive before you can come to the meeting, right?
Hmm.
And if you do that once or twice consistently, then they will not care for you at all, right? It's natural human tendency, right? Because you are taking it seriously, you are going there on time, you are spending your time, but you're just sitting there idle waiting for somebody else
Hmm.
who's so it's a big waste of your time. You'd rather be doing something else, right?
Hmm.
So absolutely, I mean, and it's part of our company culture, that's why.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now there is one question. This is not a personal question. This is one professional question, professional advice, you can say. Certifications. When we want to do any certification, there are always two types of certifications. One is industry recognized, which are usually expensive, and normal certifications. which one do you suggest the anyone pursuing that career should do?
See, the way I look at certifications is it should get you a job.
Right.
Huh. Your learning is going to come somewhat from the certifications, but I would keep certifications more from a branding perspective than a learning perspective. It does give you learning, but a large part of the certification is branding so that recruiters can put you in front of the hiring manager. And the hiring manager can see, oh, yeah, this guy has CRTP. So, yeah, he has a base level of knowledge, good enough for us. So, he eases up in terms of his interview questions, etc. And you will see, and you yourself had an OSCP certification in college. So imagine, and it's a very rare thing to have. Now, imagine anybody in their final year or earlier having an OSCP certification. I will not bat a eyelid. I'll say, let's bring him in, right? It's a given that that person is a high performer. So, and we've had, like you yourself had OSCP, and that significantly eased your filtering criteria.
Yes, that I'll agree with you, sir.
And we've had other people similarly that we have gone through, whom we have filtered. There's one person that I remember. We he had joined us at the end of third year, and he had an OSCP at that point in time. So that interview and in entire interview process was very short, and we offered him right there, and he asked for a full-time position.
Okay.
In spite of being in a fourth year, right? And we gave it to him. It's an exception. We don't do such exceptions easily, but it's the first time we had encountered somebody like that who had done an OSCP at the end of third year. So we offered and frankly, I mean, that person also performed equally well.
Okay.
I mean, these things do matter. The certifications are not just branding. That branding definitely helped us to filter him out, but that person also learned along with that OSCP. As a result, they were able to perform and justify their salaries. Otherwise, the speed at which startups like us operate, we will also, we take quick decisions. If somebody is not working out, we'll also put them out of the company. So from that perspective, I think it is always beneficial to have some of these well-recognized certifications in the field that you're trying to pursue a job in. It definitely helps, and one should always do that, I feel, in today's market. Does that mean that you choose any other, you don't ever do any other obscure certification? Maybe not, right? If you don't have the money to pay for a CRTP or OSCP, then yeah, I mean, you have to go for something substitute. In that case, you will have to make up through other means. I mean, you still have to get filtered by the HR and get in front of the hiring manager in an interview, impress the hiring manager, right? So it just becomes certifications just make it easier for you to pass the initial hurdles.
Then it is your skills and communication that gets you the job.
Yes.
It is always better to do a good certification instead of buying an iPhone.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I myself have never owned an iPhone, and I don't believe in spending so much money in phones. The most expensive phone I have bought is 15,000.
15,000.
Yes. I don't think anything more than that is worth it. I'd rather spend that money elsewhere. And definitely education any day.
Okay. When I was an intern, You suggested me don't concentrate on money at this moment.
Hmm.
Improve your skills for next 2 to 3 years, then you will get money.
Yeah.
So why did you say that? Like, can you explain more about it?
See, I mean, what happens is you will, once you get an good environment to learn, huh, you will learn really fast.
Hmm.
Huh. Typically, what happens is, the moment you learn a little bit, there are hawks everywhere who are going to give you, 2 rupees more to get you into their company. Huh. Because it is very hard to get good people.
Okay.
So, recruiters, they typically what they will do is they will look for people in good companies and try and lure them with a little more money, and just to have them jump. Their targets are met, they get the commission, and then the other person also makes a little more money. Requirements are met for the new company hiring, everybody's happy. Okay. However, what is happening is, when I look at the resume for somebody that I'm hiring with, say, 5 years experience, I see that he has done 4 job hops. It's an immediate reject for me. Okay. I don't even interview that person. I don't even look at what certifications they have. It's an immediate reject for me. Huh. Because it is very clear that there is some issue. Either he's job hopping just for money, or he has some issue that's because of which he's not able to hold a job.
Hmm.
Either way, I don't want to deal with it. Now, if you stay in that company for the first 3 years where you got a good learning environment, you will learn tremendously. And in 3 years, what you will learn will be equivalent to somebody with 6, 7 years of experience. And I'm not just saying this theoretically, this is after doing hundreds and hundreds of interviews just for FireCompass alone. I have interviewed people with 5, 6, 7 years experience who do not know enough to compete with some of our uh,
3 year experience.
2 years experience people.
Hmm.
Definitely not 3 year experience people.
Okay.
So that is why I'm saying that once you and just out of college, your focus, that's why, needs to be on learning, so that, because hop, skip, and jumps can happen significantly after that.
So every time I think that this is the last crazy decision that you will take, you will come up with something new. You have built a company and got a deal worth 30 crores in 1.5 year, and you have left the company.
Yeah.
Why? We want to know your startup story. Because few minutes back you said you're not an entrepreneur. I disagree with that. So please tell me your story.
So this is the company that I built before I joined FireCompass. 3 of us got together.
Okay.
So it was NIMO Technologies. Uh, I was in IBM and we were working on AI-based KYC and financial crime solution. So there was a big team, I think 80 to 100 people strong team that I was program managing there. So me and my um, my technical lead there, technical director there. So we both sat down and we said that we kept exploring new AI technologies, and he came up with this computer vision technology, and he says, "Look, it can recognize who you are." And he did a small POC and says, "This is great." So then we started talking, and we had this idea that why don't we take this forward? Because there's a lot of use cases we saw, especially attendance based, or recognition in case of a crimes, immediate recognition. And then we also looked at the market, and China was doing tremendously in that space. There was a company in those days, I remember, Chinese company, which had a multiple of 40 or 46x. Unthinkable. Huh. Where most service companies might have 2.5x multiple in terms of revenue to company value. So, we went around, pitched to a lot of VCs in Koramangala, in Indiranagar, etc. Ultimately, we got a funding from one of the relatives of our partner, our Singapore partner. We got a funding of about 1.6. So um, it all happened naturally. We found it that AI was booming, computer vision was booming at that point, and we thought it would be cool to have and run your own company. So at that point, none of us had started a company, so we thought it would be cool.
Okay. Tell me about the deal that you have got.
So this is so we had after the funding, it was COVID, and so while we were doing a lot of proof of concepts, we had not really cracked a big deal. We were doing a lot of, it was new technology. People were skeptical, and people didn't want to put money.
Hmm.
So while the POCs were successful, we've done it in mines, we have done it in jewelry shops, we have done it in various different places. But in India, for some reason, it was not clicking. So, we bought a company in Singapore, which we were getting it for a steal for $1 million. And they had a lot of deals in the government. And this guy was just wanted to retire and travel. So he was giving it away at a cheaper price. So we bought that company for $1 million. Now, um, so that gave us access into government security deals, because they already had the history, etc. And we continued under their branding, rebranded it to NIMO Technologies, and um, we started building our solution, which was a computer vision based attendance system, on top of all of that as an integrated solution. So we'll give a kiosk. You come in front of the kiosk, and the turntable will not turn until your face is recognized and your entry is registered at that point. Now, in Singapore, when there's a subway construction or all constructions, there is laws around tracking who is going to work at what point in time, etc. And so they launched an RFP, and we won that deal. It was, I think, quite a few of these metro construction, subway constructions that it was to implement attendance-based solution. And that deal was, I think, 4.1 or 4.2 million Singapore dollars deal that we won. So we started implementing it. What we realized at that point is that, look, Singapore was doing good because of this company's branding that we had bought, but India was not.
Okay.
And people were very, very cost sensitive in India. They were not focused on the innovation of the solution. They, and we were not getting a breakthrough in India. And COVID has actually caused more issues. So at that point, I think by then, we had started building a little bit of a technology development in Singapore also. Small, but not big. So then we closed shops in India. We took the decision to close shops in India, close the entire operation in India, and continue only in Singapore. So then the choice was, should I go to India? I had to go to Singapore then. But then again, uh, on a personal front, I was not ready to leave India because my kids were at that stage, uh, near class 12th or getting into college and that kind of a stage. And I didn't want to uproot them. I had already done that once when we moved from um, US. And all of these transitions are very, very hard for all the family. My wife had already uprooted herself from being a professor in a college to building a career here in education. And I wasn't willing to give up the stability.
Okay.
Uh-huh. And money, frankly, has never um, been such a big factor in the decision
Hmm.
for career. So I gave up on that.
Okay. What is going on in your mind when you are giving up all of your shares?
Not much. I had already made the decision about not moving there. So, yeah,
Okay.
like I said, money is not a big factor in my decision making. From a career perspective, family is, their well-being is. So the decisions are very easy
Hmm.
when you stick to these basics. Uh,
Okay. You have seen the early stages of computer, early stages of the internet, early stages of cloud, and now AI. Every single time something new comes up, everyone says that it will take away jobs. Till now, it created more jobs. Do you think the same will happen with AI or it will take away the jobs?
See, you have technologies coming in and out constantly, right? Um, uh, I would say that the pace of change has significantly stepped up with AI.
Hmm.
Uh-huh. The rate of now AI is replacing certain skills, not very, very, so certain skills, certain part of the job becomes easier to do with AI,
Hmm.
right? The entire job doesn't go away. So the value of that job probably diminishes as a result.
Yes.
And when that happens, you consolidate that into different roles, etc. Now, but always you would have seen there are newer jobs that keep coming up.
Yes.
Huh. So people will have to reskill.
Okay. So you're saying,
I mean, see, yeah, some jobs will go, and we are seeing that they are going because coding is becoming so much easier. Now, um, think of it that we are still not at a stage where we can say that, hey, let's generate code through Anthropic and deploy it into production. No. Huh. Enterprise solution implementation requires handling a lot of constraints
hmm,
that have to be given today as a prompt. Our systems are not so mature to generate enterprise ready code with just a simple prompt. So the prompting that you are doing shows your maturity in terms of the level of knowledge you have about the different constraints, how to design systems, how to handle edge cases so that it works in an enterprise system. Uh, um, and that skill is AI will not be able to take away so easily.
hmm,
So I feel that the job roles are going to change, definitely. The job I would say the job definitions would change, new skills will come in, and we'll have to, but yeah, some skills will get replaced with AI, but that is exactly what has been happening. It's just probably will happen faster.
right. So you're saying that AI will create new jobs, but there will always be jobs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so students who are coming out of college, I think they need to be a little more agile on their beat and learn the new things. Maybe understand what Gen AI is at a fundamental level, right? Not just go into Chat GPT and give a prompt and get something out, right? So if you are understanding what Gen AI is, how to build, how to build a Gen AI model, or how to retrain a model, or what RAG is versus retraining. The fundamentals, understand that, so that you are more prepared to utilize it better in a solution. Our company, we are building agentic AI for pen testing, and so are probably 30 other companies in the world. Huh. Um, so how do you differentiate? Right? Enterprise solution is definitely a key differentiator. For you to be enterprise ready, you will have to make sure that it is reliable.
Okay.
Huh? Um, you've seen that if we miss out even one or two false negatives, the client will be on the call saying, this vendor gave us, why did you not tell us?
Yes.
So, if that is the kind of thing you are expecting, and you expect that you'll run some Chat GPT model and, do a pen testing and be happy with it, that's not going to happen.
Okay. So, sir, generally on the internet, many of the influencers and wise people suggest traveling around the globe will give us better perspective towards life.
Mhm.
You have traveled across the globe, worked in different geographical regions. So, what are the few things that you have learned that can help us?
Ah, traveling is fun. I love traveling.
Okay.
You get to see new places, new experiences, new food, new culture, and great places, all over the world. So it's just great. I mean, I think the more you travel, the more you spend time, not just as a tourist, but as spend time there, it broadens your horizon, broadens your perspective on how to handle issues. So you can, and nowadays everything is global, right? So if you have to manage and lead a large team, you have to be able to, you have to be sensitive to all of that, and experience it. I mean, in my case, I'm fortunate to have an education from here and an education from there. And I keep telling my kids that, experience learning from a different country, and from a top tier university, travel, it'll give you a sense of exposure and confidence that you will to deal with all kinds of people, to work with all kinds of people, and to collaborate and build a solution that is far beyond um, the world, right? I mean, simple things like when I left India, I didn't have the concept that houses can be so immaculate and a toilet can have a carpet.
Okay.
I didn't have that concept. Toilets are always supposed to be wet. Mhm. When I went there, I saw, okay, this is how they manage, so that, so it's eye-opening. And then if you expand that, there's little things all around you that will open your eyes on how life can be so much better. You can improve. And you can see now that over the last 30 years, so much of Western influence has come into India, and the lifestyle and what people are doing for the, you know, poor, for education, all of that has so significantly changed. Okay. And that is, a lot of it is to do with people returning from US,
Okay.
or from all the Western countries, and, settling here, making their life more purposeful.
Okay. If you are 25 years old today,
Yes.
How would you approach your career and personal life? Will you do it differently?
I don't think so. I've never given too much thought into my career.
Okay.
And it's worked out well. I think that's the way to go. As long as you're sincere with your subject and what you're learning, I think I'll continue to learn and see what works out. I mean, um, I think this conversation is better over a beer because it's all hypothetical.
Okay.
But see, the job market, IT job market, when I was starting out, was very different from now.
Mhm.
Huh? Now, if you are a cybersecurity expert and if you are a data scientist now, huh, you'll probably have abundant openings.
Okay.
Huh? Good quality data scientists. I mean, I'm not talking about people who've learned Python programming, and I'm talking about people who have a foundation on maths and can understand the um, algorithm behind AI models and things like that. Huh? So it is going to be very good for them. Huh? And then see where life takes you from there. I wouldn't do anything different. I think I am very happy with my approach to life that has been. I learned a lot along the way. Um, I think if I were 25, I would still do that.
Okay.
I mean, I got to travel. I got a great family. They have been all supportive. Um, great jobs, great learning. Uh, I hope that the same thing will all again continue.
Last question, sir.
Okay. Yay.
Even I feel like, yeah. I know you like to read a lot of books and you often suggest people to read books. You even suggested me.
Well, that's not correct. I really am not the most avid reader in this family by even a long stretch.
Okay.
In fact, it's quite the opposite. I am probably the person in this family who reads the least. Yeah, but I listen to a lot of audiobooks.
Okay. What are the 3 books that you would like to suggest to anyone who want to improve their lifestyle, communication skills, or your favorite books?
Well, okay, there are two different questions.
Hmm.
Huh. Um, the favorite books, I would say, um, I love reading about um, jungles and travel stories, etc. So one of the recent ones I've heard, because I hear audiobooks more now, is by Jim Corbett. It's what is that book on leopard? It was one of the man-eating leopards. How he hunt him down. I forget the name. Um, anyway, it's based out of Kumaon, the um, forest there, and how he um, tried to pin him down, and he realized how cunning this leopard was. Huh. So far, far beyond intelligence that humans are. So I love those kind of books. Then recently, I have developed an interest in stock market. So I've read a lot of stock market books, which I love. There's one by Mark Minervini, which I really liked. Um, but if you're looking for communication and career and those kind of things, there's tons of self-help books. I'm not very crazy about them, frankly. Um, I feel that um, if you are focusing on your technical subject and learning, the rest of it will come easily as you work. Uh, some self-help books here and there will definitely help, One is how to communicate, right? That is important. So, um, um, the book by Dale Carnegie is a good start, I would say.
Hmm.
There's um, and there's a course that I had taken on crucial communications. So there are now plenty of books like that. So some books like that, where how do you communicate in terms of conflicts, etc. Those can definitely give you a good framework for building your building your mental framework. Huh. But I do believe that one should continue to read. I mean, especially these self-help books, they are um, pretty easy reads, and you can listen to them on audio, or you can even listen to YouTube book summaries
Hmm.
for them. Um, but it doesn't really um, have the same effect. Huh. Checklist Manifesto is another one of them which I really liked. Checklist Manifesto will, especially for corporate world, that is, and then there is one called by David Allen, How to Get Things Done, or something
Hmm.
like that. Getting Things Done.
Hmm.
Huh. Um, that Now, getting things done will help you organize how to, especially if you have too many things going on, how do you organize your work and make visible progress? Huh? Checklist Manifesto is how do you stop making silly mistakes? When you do a lot of the repetitive work, or do the similar kind of things, like in your case, if you're doing active scans on a regular basis, say 52 in a year, how do you avoid making mistakes? When you know exactly how to do it, huh, I mean, uh, you may be in a different mindset and may miss a few steps. How do you avoid that? That is your checklist manifesto. So, and then your Dale Carnegie book is more about how do you make friends, connect with people, so that you can build a teamwork around you. So similarly, I mean, there are tons of books on collaborations and communications. I think some framework, mental framework, if you read a little bit, sample around, will definitely help you from a corporate perspective.
that bring
So
that brings us to the end. Thank you, Amit sir.
wonderful. Thank you
Thank you
so
for
much.
giving me this opportunity.
Well, thank you for making me feel so important. I uh, have spoken a lot, but I never thought any of this would be of any value. So I usually don't talk about these things at all.
It will be
Uh,
of value.
yeah, and I mean, in fact, I realized that until recently, I've not even spoken about many of these things with my son either, or for that matter, my daughter also.
Okay.
Uh, so, yeah, I mean, it brings back a lot of the memories and a lot of stories that I've gone through, which become part of your second nature. Uh, but yeah, they have been defining moments for me. Good.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. And next, over lunch, we'll listen to your story now.
My legs are small.